Well, I come from a pretty traditional Chinese family. So I actually wasn't born here. I was born in China, and we immigrated here like maybe 10 years ago, a little bit more than that.
Usually we play games or we watch movies and we just like make food and we eat and we hang out.
Yes, sometimes we like cook dinner and sometimes we invite them over for like small family meals like spaghetti, meatballs, or like katsudon, stuff like that. We do that often in summers, but then school got in the way and now we're living unhealthy teenage lives.
I was born biologically female, but in my head, I feel more comfortable as a boy. Yeah, I remember actually being in first grade and being told to wear a dress and just crying and crying. I distinctively have that memory. As a Chinese person, you're expected culturally to kind of behave a certain way. And the biggest problem for me was representing that physically, because my mom, my family was telling me, you're supposed to look like a girl. But in my head, I felt like a boy. So during the time I was transitioning, I was deeply, deeply afraid I was gonna be like kicked out. I was gonna have to like fend for myself. And that was my biggest fear, just being completely alone. And that was hard. I kind of assumed that my mother would get it right away, but she didn't. And I realized that's because it takes people time to understand. So I think you need to be patient with them in order for them to come around.
Well, before meeting Dexter, I've never known personally any transgendered people, but that's cool with me. I don't really care because he's a great person and he's a great friend, so that's all that matters to me.
I actually knew Dexter was transgendered before I met him. Sometimes I feel like in high school people thought of him just as transgendered and not as Dexter, and that, you know, that's pretty lame because like there's more to a person. After I met him, like it was kind of like, wow, like this person's really cool.
What I really like about Dexter is that he's very generous.
I was taught to have a good heart, and I was taught that that was a really important thing to have, to kind of like give it to other people.
Like even with friends, he just tells them straight up what he thinks, and usually it's like, you know, better for them. Like especially when we're teenagers, we don't want to be reckless, but then he's like, you know, gotta be an adult now because we're like, you know, almost 20.
Once I medically transitioned, I immediately felt more comfortable. I'm still comfortable. All I ever really wanted growing up was to kind of be normal, and now I get to have that. And I probably wouldn't be here today if I didn't get that opportunity, so I'm very grateful.